Good morning, ladies and gents. It's been a while since I did a video, much to your relief, I'd imagine. But obviously I've been setting new percentages work over the last couple of weeks, and I've had a little bit of feedback from probably 7 or 8 of you with issues that you're having about it. So what I thought I'd do, obviously I promised you there'd be an end of kind of topic test about the 3 topics that we've covered within percentages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine addressing some of the issues, so kind of personalise the feedback to those people that need it, along with the test. So in a moment, you're going to see some questions. I've literally just written them in a notebook. I'm going to take a photo. Those questions will come up. I'd like to do those questions as your end of topic test. Obviously, show your workings, etc. I'm then going to go through each question one by one, and you can mark it. Really important, once I've been through them and you've marked it, if you still don't understand something, please just pop a note on show my homework. Okay, so I'll see you guys in a few minutes with the answers. Okay, so what you should have done is obviously paused it during the 5 or 6 seconds of the video where I've shown you the answers, shown you the questions. Now I'm going to go through each question one by one and do the answers with you. Okay, so we've got write 16 as a percentage of 64. So 16 as a percentage of 64. That's like getting 16 out of 64 in a test. And we all know when you do a test, if you get 16 out of 64, the teacher does it like that at the top of the page, don't they? So it's 16 out of 64. Okay. 2 ways that you can do that. First way, I can simplify both the top and the bottom. So what goes into both? Well, I can divide both of them by 2, can't I? Okay. So how many 2's going to 16? 8. How many 2's going to 64? 32. I can divide both of these by 8. How many 8's go in? So I'm going to divide by 8 again. How many 8's go into 8? 1. How many 8's go into 32? 4. A quarter, we should all know a quarter is 25%. Okay? You could have done 16 divided by 64. Okay, that's the other way you could have done that. I'll do that method in one of the other questions. So a quarter is 25%. If you're not sure, we know a percentage is always out of 100. So how do I get this out of 100? Okay, so what am I going to do here? Well, 4 times what? Well, it's 4 times 25, isn't it? Okay, and so if I do the same to the top, I get 25 out of 100, which is 25%. Okay, it's not easy maths. Okay, definitely not easy maths. So please don't worry too much. Oh, let me get my skin puppy, a bit of tissue. So the answer to the first one is 25%. Question 1, the answer is 25%. Question 2, write 12 out of 16. So 12 out of 16. So divide them both by 2. Okay, so I get 6 out of 8. Divide by 2 again, shall we? Divide by 2, I get 3 out of 4. 3 quarters. So we've got 3 over 4. You might just know 3 quarters is 75%. If not, how are you going to turn that? 4 times what is 100? Well, it's 25 again, isn't it? So do the same to the top. 75 over 100 is 75%. Okay? So the answer is 75%. Now, if you wanted to do that, 12 divided by 16. Okay? You do 12 divided by 16. Okay? So 16 into 1 doesn't go. 16 into 12 doesn't go, 0. So I've got to carry my 12 over. But whenever you carry beyond the decimal point, what do you need to do? You need to add a 0. So it becomes, you're at 12, add a 0, becomes 120. 16's into 120, what's that going to be? It's going to be 7, isn't it? Okay, 7 times 10 is 70, 7 times 6 is 42, that's 112, with 8 left over. So I put my 8, I've carried after the decimal point, put my 0. Okay. 16's into 80 goes 5. Okay. Slightly harder maybe, 2 ways of doing the same thing. 0.75. And so once you've got your decimal 0.75, Okay, 0.75 is equal to 75%. Okay, times it by 100. Okay, when you get decimal, times by 100 gives you a percentage, or times by 100 means you move 1 or 2 places that way. Okay. What's next? Right, 12, no, done. And what is 10% of 60? So 10% of 60. So there's 60. To find 10%, I just move 1 decimal point this way. So the answer is 6. The other way you can do it is you divide by 10. 60 divided by 10 is 6. Okay, very easy. Remember, 10% is your gateway percentage. Number 4, what is 15% of 60? 15% of 60, so to find 15%, I'm going to break it down into a 10% and a 5%. So 10% is, move it 1 decimal point, is 6. So if 10% is 6, 5% is half of 10%. Okay, so half of 6 is 3, which means 15%, 6 add 3 is 9. Okay, I'm going to do this quickly. You can pause it and go back and re-watch it. Ask your parents that, oh, I'm still not quite sure, can you go through this with me? Okay. Next up, what is 50% of 30? 50% of 30. Well, someone messaged they weren't kind of sure about the 50s and the 25s and things. Well, 50% is a half. What's half of 30? You've got £30. What's half? £15. So 50% of 30 is a half. To find a half, you divide by 2, don't you? Okay, if you've got a cake and you're going to half it, you share it by 2, divide by 2. Okay, so 50% of 30 is 15. 15. I used to have a rug here, we've got rid of it. It was a wool rug and it was hard to clean, and so we got rid of it in the end. So now my knees are hurting on this floor. What's up next? 11% of 80. 11% of 80. So again, I'm going to break this down to 10% and 1%. So 10% is 8, which means 1%. So 10% you move it once. For 1% you move it again. So it becomes 0.8. 0.8. 8 add 0.8 is 8.8. Okay, remember 10% you move 1 decimal place. Okay, for 10%. For 1% you move it a second time. Okay. Sort of thing you do in your head when you're at the shop and there's something you're buying for £70 and it says 10% off. Okay, so £70, you've got £70 in your head. So just picture moving a dot from after the 0, 70 dots, move that dot, the decimal point, in 1, so it becomes 7. So 10% off means £7. Okay, so if something is £70, you get 10% off, means you take 10% away. So 10% is £7, £70 take away your 7 is £63. Okay, that way you're never going to get ripped off in a shop. And if you've been in my classes, I'll tell you lots of stories where shops have got percentages wrong. It's good to be able to do them quickly in your head, so you're getting ripped off in life. What's up next? 20% of 70. 20% of 70. So again, 10% and 10%. Two 10% make you 20. So 10% is 7. 7 and 7 is 14. Easy as that. Okay, you can do that in your head in a shop. Something's £70, you're getting 20% off. Well, 10% is £7. 2 lots of £7 is 14. My £70 minus my 14 means it's going to cost me 56 quid. Handy maths. 25% of 40. 25% of 40. So hopefully we know if we've got a whole cake, when you half it, 50% means you divide by 2. To find 25%, which is a quarter, you divide by 4. So all I've got to do is 2 options. You can divide this by 4. Okay? So 40 divided by 4 is 4. But the other way of doing that is, well, 25% is a 10%, a 10%, and a 5%. 10% is 4. 5% is half of the 10%. So if 10% is 4, 5% must be 2. 4, 8, 9, 10. Okay? 40 divided by 4 is 10. So we're happy. 25% of 40 is 10. Happy days. Tell you what, it's hot today. I was wearing a vest earlier, but I thought I better not do a school video in a vest. Probably not the best look. And the old dad bod during lockdown, it's not pretty something. Right, multipliers. What is the multiplier for? So A, 30%. 30% multiplier would be 0.3. Okay. B, multiplier for 60% is going to be 0.6. 70% 0.7, 80% 0.8, 90% 0.9, and so on. Okay. So 10% is going to be 0.1. 15% is just going to be 0.15. Okay, so that's 0.10, 0.6. Okay, but obviously we don't need those because it's a 0. If it's a 15, you need the 5, so we keep the 5. E, 1%. So use common sense. You might be tempted to say 1% is 0.1. Well, think about what you do know. You know 10% is 0.1. Okay, so 1% must be 0.01. Okay, so get those marked. Watch them again if you weren't sure about something. Hopefully, I've addressed some of the issues that you guys have messaged me about. Some of you got a little bit confused with kind of like this 15, 11%, 13%, 27%. Okay, so 27% would be 0.27. And the reason why we use multipliers is because if I wanted to find, let's say 29% of 640, if I turn this into a multiplier, 0.29, bear in mind they're called multipliers. Multipliers multiply. So you turn it into a multiplier and multiply it by your number. That would give you the percentage. Okay, that's why we use multipliers. Okay, they're the basic multipliers. We can move on to increasing and decreasing. So something we kind of might move on to at some point. Increasing. So let's say I said increase something. Let's say I've got £60, and I'm saying to you increase it. There's some extension. There we go. Increase that by 10%. So you find 10%. So 10% is going to be £6. Okay, so if I want to increase £60 by 10%, I find 10%, there's my 10%, and I add it on. Okay, so it would be £66. Okay, if I was to decrease it by 10%, I find 10% and I'll take it away. So it would be 54%. Okay, and we can use multipliers to do the same. For instance, if I wanted to increase £70 by, increase it by 14%, I do my 70, well, turn this into a multiplier first. To find 14%, okay, so I increase. To find 14%, I'll do 0.14 times 70. But to increase it, I'll do 1.14 times 70. If I was to decrease by 14%, okay, so 100% is the whole thing. If I take 14% away, I'm only left with 86%. So you do 0.86 times 70. Okay, don't worry, I've gone through that dead quick. It's just for those people who have nailed this. That's the sort of next step work we'd be looking at. Okay, so that's just a bit of an insight into next steps for some of you. I know some of you have been quite successful at this. Okay, right, hope you enjoy the good weather. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.